Will Kim run back to Kanye? Also, I got my lovely girlfriend Kenya here with me. How you doing? That is the big question. Will Kim run back to Kanye?
Most likely, yes.
Most likely. All right, let's get into it.
I need you to run right back to me, baby. I need you to run right back, baby. More specifically, Kimberly. Cause that ain't no joke to me. My kids want their parents to stay together. Right. I want us to be together. But
I want y'all to be together too.
If you look at the media, that's not what they promoting. Right. That's not what they want. They want it to be a new wedding, a new episode, a new TV show. And then they have people all around in my wife's ear. You know what I'm saying? This is a publicist that's next to her. I don't with her.
Quality. Dang. That's heavy. So that was Kanye a little over a year ago, kind of when this all started. And that was even before Kim and Pete started dating. But he was just, kind of fed up. One, he was pleading for Kim to come back so that he could keep his family together. He was saying how his kids wanted the family to be together. He wanted the family to be together. And he was kind of, also putting out that he knew he wasn't, perfect in the sense of being a husband, but he wanted to still give it a try. But he also alluded to this is the Kardashians. They're used to being in the public eye and making big headlines and
Always
doing
having
these.
something happen.
Yeah. And so now, though, Kim has the perfect opportunity to run back to Kanye because if you haven't heard, Kim and Pete Davidson broke up. They called it quits. What do you have to say about that?
I'm not surprised. I knew it was going to happen eventually. I mean, it didn't start off on like a good foundation.
Right,
so
right.
I'm not surprised it's crumbled.
Yeah, it started off on a absolutely horrible foundation, actually. And we'll get into that just a little bit later on, why Kim decided or like how she found interest in Pete. But first, we're going to take a look at how this breakup happened.
It's over for Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson.
Over.
Sources close to the couple exclusively tell E! News that Kim and Pete have broken up and decided to just be friends. The sources say that the two have a lot of love and respect for each other, but found that the long distance and their demanding schedules made it really difficult to maintain a relationship. A source also adds that Kim's divorce with ex-Kanye West is still, quote, moving ahead, and that the two are happily co-parenting. E! News has reached out to Kim and Pete's reps for comment, but did not immediately hear back. We know that Kim and Pete had been doing long distance as the comedian has been in Australia filming the movie Wizards. While Kim has been spotted down under visiting Pete, she's mostly remained near her home base in Los Angeles with her 4 kids, whom she shares with Kanye. Kim and Pete had a whirlwind romance that began shortly after Kim hosted Saturday Night Live back in September 2021. They were first linked in November. During their time together, the two turned heads on Instagram and on the red carpet, including their major
All right, man. So, my first reaction is, this is kind of crazy, right?
Honestly,
Go ahead.
I feel like she just got bored.
Or he got bored. Because there was actually a report that came out when I was kind of looking into this earlier that he said that she was kind of boring like a month ago.
Jeez.
And it was because all she was focused on was getting her like size or like her waist size down to like a 0, like dress size. And she was so obsessed with, doing that and the vanity of that he felt like it was sucking the fun out of her life because she would go out and she would be really watching what she ate. I guess she wasn't like drinking or her diet was very strict because she was so focused on this. And Pete's like,
I'm just trying
to have fun. Like, I'm just out here. I'm a comedian, and girls want me apparently. And so he's just like, I'm not sure how the breakup happened, but
yeah, I can see that. I can see like him being like, "Ooh, I want to have fun," and she's like, "I have this, that, and the third to do."
Right. Now let's talk about this a little bit from a Christian perspective. So she basically gets out of the relationship with Kanye, even though they're not divorced. They have four
Still
kids
married.
together. They don't have one, they don't have two, they don't have three. They have four kids together. She's still married, and they basically hadn't been split up for a long time. And she runs to Pete Davidson, who is actually a family friend. They were at Pete's been to their house for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to
Crazy.
that? Like how? Yeah, it's nuts, right?
You mean Pete's been to Kanye's and Kim's house
Yeah,
for
that
Thanksgiving?
like because
Oh,
I heard Kanye say that
wow.
once. It's like, yeah, Pete came to my house for Thanksgiving,
Oh, that's messed
and then now he's with
up.
my like, yeah,
Oh, that's awful.
yeah, isn't that crazy? So I mean, it's just, and this is why living by biblical principles is really crucial, especially if you profess your faith in Christ. Like, really, really hold yourself accountable to live up to the standard that God has before us, and you won't be in all this drama. You won't be caught in the vanity metrics of Kim wanting to get her size down to a 0 and trying to date like somebody useful. And I mean, when she's doing that, it's almost like she's trying to affirm that she's, still beautiful and still useful. Even though she has youth in her kids, she has four kids that are
Yeah.
basically the next iterations of her, because
Yeah.
that is, her creation. And she should be focusing on her kids and giving her kids that best life. And the best life that those kids are going to have is with
Two
a
parents.
stable home, right? But even if you and Kanye can't work it out, and they at least need to be focused around their kids and their dating instead of, this. We're about to react to the next video, and this is going to shock you. This came out kind of early when Pete and Kim, it came out that they were dating, and this is basically the reason why Kim wanted Pete. Take a look.
I wasn't even thinking like, oh my God, I'm gonna be in a relationship with him. I was just thinking like, heard about this BDE, need to get out there. Like I need to just like jumpstart I was just basically DTF. I did SNL, and then when we kissed.
That's nuts. So she was basically just like, yeah, I'm just trying to put myself out there.
Whole phase for the win.
Yeah, it's just crazy. She was basically just being like, I'm for the streets now. Even though I have kids, it's like,
I'm still married.
right. And when you have kids, and well, I mean, obviously they were split, but especially when you have kids, it's no longer about you and just what you want to do. I understand she is in a different position than a lot of us, where she's kind of set. Like her businesses probably can kind of run themselves, even if she steps away for a little bit and she's got the name and brand behind her. But just a general rule for pretty much everybody else is just like that's not a good strategy if you want to have a meaningful life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, let's continue.
In scene, it was just a vibe, and I was like, oh shit, maybe I just need to try something different. But Pete does not come to my after party. Everyone was at my after party. Does not give me the time of day. So a few days later.
And I think the only reason why she has behaved the way she's behaved is because like she doesn't have accountability around her. It's like, hey, no, Kim, you're being stupid.
Right. Like nobody told her that. Oh, she was like, I want to try something different. It's like nobody told you that. Hey, maybe you just need to like chill for a little bit and focus on your kids.
Sure
you're
good.
Going through a divorce, right? Make sure your
Yeah.
kids are good. Like my parents went through a divorce, and it wasn't like a nasty divorce or anything, but I mean, it was still hard for me and my brother to adjust. Like we're juggling between two households. Now her kids are almost at a more of a disadvantage because her parents' divorce is so public, and you're not talking about like, you're talking about houses. Like Kim and Kanye are always on the move, and so like just think about what those kids probably are going through. Just, oh, dad's in this town, mom's in this town, she's working with this. Oh, now mom's flying over to go see Pete, and then
like a lot
like
of
just
movement.
introducing
Like a lack of stability.
Yeah, it's just a lack of stability, and maybe this breakup will be good because it'll bring back some of that stability, and so maybe Kim will run back to Kanye. But should Kanye take her back?
That's the real question.
We can stop with the reaction. Well, we do have a Bible verse because on this show we always like to bring everything back to a biblical grounds. So our first Bible verse is John 8:10 and 11, and this is the story of the adulterous woman. So that's basically what Kim is, and that is not to, cast judgment on her. We are just, comparing her to the standard that God has before her. Now, there is a woman in the Bible who was an adulterous woman. Under the law of Moses, you were supposed to be stoned if you commit adultery. However, the scribes and Pharisees bring this lady to Jesus, and they're just trying to catch him in an act. Basically, just trying to catch him like in a lie and be like, hey, see, we got you. But Jesus is having none of that, right? And so the story goes on. He has a famous line, let he without sin cast the first stone. Basically like, hey, if you're walking around here perfect, then you be the one to throw the first stone to, kill this woman. And then everybody just kind of feels convicted and is like, man, yeah, I'm not going to be the one to do that.
Right.
And so now we're here, and Jesus has a conversation, a short little dialogue with the woman. And he says, Jesus straightened up and asked her, woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you? No one, sir, she said. Then neither do I condemn you, Jesus declared. Go now and leave your life of sin. And that is the primary message that we have for Kim and Kanye is we just want them to, move towards a godly life. That's what we are here. We're not trying to condemn them. We're not trying to cast stones at them, but we do want to use this as a lesson for other believers and also to encourage them and be prayerful for them that, hey, like, even though you've had like a past of sin and a past of not living up to the standard of God, Jesus is like, hey, you can just go and sin no more because I'm not going to condemn you. But from here on out, you need to strive to live up to the standard that I have set before you.
Yep. And like Josh said, like you said, we should pray for them. Pray that truth is revealed to them, and then that they have a desire to live for Christ and surrender their lives. So don't forget to.
Yeah, it's all about living godly.